Polarnost naše svijesti ljude stavlja neprestance u konflikt između dvije mogućnosti. Da bismo realizirali jednu, moramo odustati od druge. Tako nam uvijek nešto nedostaje i nikad nismo cijeli. Iz te perspektive, simptomi bolesti su tjelesne, izražajne forme psihičkih sukoba i svojom simbolikom mogu razotkriti bit problema kod pacijenta. Bolest čini iskrenim jer što god se događa u tijelu, zapravo se događa u našoj svijesti. Tijelo je prostor projekcije našeg unutarnjih problema, pa tako nije mjesto gdje problem nastaje, niti je mjesto gdje ga se može riješiti. No, simptomi nam se obraćaju jezikom za kojega smatraju da ga mi razumijemo, a to je jezik analogija. Zato tjelesni tijek bolesti predstavlja simboličku obradu problema. Tako piše njemački liječnik Ruediger Dahlke u knjizi Bolest kao put. A njegov put ga je doveo do susreta ovdje, na rubu znanosti. Dobar večer. Ruediger Dahlke liječnik je koji u Minhenu studirao medicinu, potom se obrazovao za prirodno liječenje i proučavao razne smjerove psihoterapije, te je u Donjoj Bavarskoj u Schornbachu sa suprugom osnovao centar za liječništvo. Dobar večer.
Good evening.
Danas mogli bismo pričati o bilo kojoj od vaših knjiga, ali eto izabrali smo knjigu Bolest kao put, s obzirom da je to knjiga koja je objavljena u Hrvatskoj. I ono u čime se vi zapravo u knjizi bavite u samom uvodu, od kuda se kreće da bismo došli uopće do značenja te riječi bolest kao put, jest pitanje filozofije zdravlja, pa time i filozofije medicine. Pa na koji način i u kojoj mjeri danas postoji ili ne postoji primjena i uopće u svijesti ljudi ideja neka o filozofiji zdravlja, kako stvari na tom polju stoje kod školske medicine, kako kod prirodne, alternativne i slično. Ko je taj dio koji na neki način zapravo, reklo bi se, teoretsko-filozofski možda i nedostaje?
Yeah, from my viewpoint, we have in the university medicine lacking three of the reasons behind illness. If we look at the philosophy of thinking and the way of thinking, then in the old days, very old days, everybody thought in analogies like religious people do. Like we have the analogies in the Bible and things like this. And then with Aristotle, things changed. He wanted to train the way of thinking his teacher Platon had and his teacher Socrates. So he made categories and he found four reasons. That's the reason we are used to work with from university medicine. This is the reason coming from the past affecting the present. So if we say, why are we ill now? Why do I have a cold? Because I caught some viruses 3 days ago. This is the university medicine way of thinking. But Aristotle said there are three other reasons. There's one coming back from the future to the present. There's one reason of patterns, and there's one materialistic reason. So, if you make it clearer, if we look at some sports thing, let's say the 100-meter finals of Olympics, 10 men are sitting there, and suddenly they start running, and we ask why? Why do they run suddenly? So if we look from a scientific viewpoint of medicine, school medicine, then we have to find the reason in the past. It must be a reason which is always the same. So we find out after some reasoning that's the shot, and then they start running. If they run before, it's not possible, they are not allowed to. If they stay back, they can't win. So the reason is the shot. But if you understand something about sports, you will see it's very improbably that those guys trained 14, 15, maybe 20 years just because of the shot. The even more important reason for them is that they want to win a gold medal in Olympics. So this reason is in the future, and it's coming back from the future, affecting them in the past. They run now because they want to win a gold medal. This is what Aristotle called the causa finalis. And what the university medicine takes is the causa efficiens, coming from the past, the shot, affecting the moment, the present. And then there's another reason, it's a pattern. Yeah, the rules of the Olympic Games, they are not allowed to use a motorcycle or something. They are not allowed to use a shorter way or something. They just have to follow their track and follow the rules. This is what they call, what Aristotle has called the causa formalis. And of course there's a materialistic reason. They have to have these shoes and they have the muscles and there has to be this pistol, this gun and all this. We are not fighting about this. But the causa finalis, which is in the future, this is not accepted by university medicine. And this is really lacking because people want to have a reason for their illness. They want to know what to do about it. If you look at the causa formalis, there are these questions we call, why is it happening to me? Why now, in this time of my life? What is it keeping me away from doing? What is it forcing me to do? So this is much easier to work with all these 3 or even 4 reasons for the people, and it's easier to go into responsibility. That means the ability to respond what is happening to them. So what their fate is meaning and wanting them to do, to learn from this. That's what we think is, or what I feel with disease as a path, disease as a way to understand something.
Ovaj pogled na stvari se može činiti neobičnim ako se malo stvari ne prošire, jer on u sebi sadrži pitanje svrhovitosti bolesti. Kao što ovi atletičari koji ste spominjali imaju nekakvu svrhu svog treniranja da bi recimo možda osvojili zlatnu medalju. U ovoj perspektivi, ako simptomi, ako zapravo svrha bolesti u budućnosti, onda znači da postoji neki širi plan, širi cilj. U knjizi također pišete da zapravo i školska medicina i alternativna medicina na neki način rješavaju, pokušavaju olakšati simptome i slične stvari. Međutim, i na jedan i na drugi način se radi o tome da je vaš pogled nekako ide u dubinu i mora se reći dosta u filozofiju. Pa krenimo od pojma bolest. Za početak mi znamo da je riječ zdravlje u jednini, a da je riječ bolesti obično u množini. Međutim, iz vaše perspektive ne postoje bolesti nego samo bolest. Što bi bila u tom slučaju bolest, odnosno možda bi trebalo objasniti prije toga uopće u kakvom svemiru mi živimo i koji zakoni, poput zakona polariteta, nas u stvari određuju da bismo našli tu vezu između svijesti i bolesti u konačnici.
So, the laws of the universe, I mean, we call it the laws of destiny or the laws of fate. I think all people experience that there are different laws existing, rules of life, and we have them in every religion. The Buddhists see it, the Hindus see it, Christians see it. We are praying in Our Father, in this one prayer we got from Christ. Things happen on earth as in heaven. This means there is an analogy, and this is a way of thinking we know from Hermetic philosophy. So one of the rules, the second most important, is resonance, that there are resonances between inside and outside, in heaven and on earth. This is a law almost everybody knows. So we call, if I start yawning, for example, and then maybe he is also yawning, then we say this is contagious. But it isn't by viruses or bacteria. It's just we go in resonance with each other. We talk to each other. So people know this, experience this all the time. We say things like the chemistry is fitting together, but we have no analysis about chemistry. We just are in resonance with these themes we talk about. So we know this law quite well. And we know it even from a scientific viewpoint. Italian scientists in Parma, University of Parma, found that in our brain there are a lot of neurons which are just doing resonance. They have the capacity to bring us in resonance with each other. And this we quite know well also in our daily life. Then the most important law is the law of polarity from my viewpoint. That means that we often get the opposite from what we wanted. So if people fall in love, they swear to each other that this will last for all life and they will stay in love with each other. They even go to a priest and he warns them even and says, do you want to stay together in good and bad times? But they don't know bad times in this moment. They are so in love, so they say yes. But in the end we find out that often, which started in hot love, people who started in hot love end up in cold hate. And they go to lawyers and they fight about this. And this we see almost everywhere. All the politicians who fought for freedom so impressively, like Gandhi, Martin Luther King, or Anwar el-Sadat, or Yitzhak Rabin, they all ended up being killed by violence and violence of the own people. So we have it on a small basis. If we have Christmas evening, the feast of peace and love, and everybody tries to be in peace and with love. And if you, as a young doctor, you work in psychiatry or surgery, you have hell of an evening on this very holy moment. People fight a lot and get crazy, have breakdowns on the holy evening. So it comes out completely the opposite. So we could think of this right from the beginning, that there's always the possibility of things going to the opposite. The most important law. We know this from physics also. They know for sure that there's to every electron there's a positron too. So to understand something, we have to take sometimes the opposite. So if I want to feel small, I have to compare myself with people who are taller. So small needs tall, good needs bad. How could we be good if there wasn't something bad, like the devil?
Kako se taj zakon polarnosti odražava na pitanje bolesti?
Yeah, for example, everybody wants to be healthy. If you ask people on New Year's Eve what they want most, they say health. And if you look at them, they do almost the opposite. They do things which they eat wrong, and they don't move, and they don't relax, and don't give themselves time for regeneration and all this. So they often do the opposite. In all parts of the world you can see, of our daily life you can see this. And we know this from experience. If you want to really exhale, you have to inhale afterwards. If you say you want only daytime, and you stay up and you don't sleep in the night, then the longing for sleep is becoming so strong that you really fall asleep.
Drugim riječima, ovdje u stvari pričamo o temeljnoj odlici svijesti, ljudske svijesti koja se nalazi u svijetu dvojnosti i zapravo mi stalno u životu moramo donositi odluke između nečega. Rat ili mir, hoću li lijevo, hoću li desno, volim li ovo i najčešće ako nešto voliš onda ono drugo ne voliš. I u recimo u jungovskim terminima se zna reći da ti dijelovi koje ti nisi odabrao kao svoj identitet, oni ostaju neartikulirani i oni postaju ono što je on nazvao sjenom. Kakva veza sad uzročno-posljedične, bez obzira da li stizla iz prošlosti ili budućnosti, postoji između te sjene i onog što će kasnije postati bolest?
Disease is always an aspect of shadow, because we never want disease. And we get disease because something is in our consciousness not understood. So if you understood everything and could react to everything properly, it needn't sink to the shadow, as we call this. So the body is more or less the stage for the things we don't accept in our consciousness. So if you understand, for example, that you have got enough and you don't want to hear anything anymore, and you just want to close down because it was too much for you, and you express this, it's okay. But if you don't express it, you will have it in the body. The nose will be shut, your throat will be shut, and you get this what we call a cold. This is a picture of just being closed up to your surroundings, and the only thing which is coming out is aggressions, like coughing, coughing and bringing out, like sniffing and things like this. They are more or less, coughing is more or less aggressive. So the body is the stage which makes clear what is going on and what you need. And this also is true to more important diseases. Yeah, so if you don't accept that you have to grow, your heart has to become wider and more open, and what Christianity is telling us to love everybody like we love ourselves. So you need a big heart for this. And the second most important sentence in Christianity is that we should love our enemies. So a lot of people have need a lot of space in their heart to love all the enemies. They have to let them into their heart. So if we don't do this on a consciousness level, on a mind level, then the body is expressing it for us. And the heart is becoming bigger and bigger and bigger in old ages, until we call it a heart insufficiency. The heart is not enough, working enough, so we make X-rays and we see, this big heart. The big heart is not the problem if it's on the consciousness level. There we should develop a big heart of love. This is the same in Buddhism, this is the same in Hinduism, so all religions are similar to this. But if we don't do this on this level, our body comes in and expresses this, and we get this heart insufficiency. This is a big heart. We see it in the X-ray. So the body is a stage for what we don't live up to on the mind. And this is true for all the other diseases too. Yeah? If you, for example, we are in Christianity, we are taught that we should turn around and become like children again to get the realm of God. But we are not interested in Christianity so much anymore, especially not in the German countries, so we don't live up to this sentence. We don't become like children again, but in the long run we get a lot of dementia. And what's happening there? We got childish. And our brain is developing in the opposite direction as it started up when we were young. So what we don't live up from in respect to the big psychological things and the important things of religion, it has a tendency to come to the stage of the body and show us this task, things which we should learn on body level. And this is always very dangerous to our health, of course, but also to our life. Yeah, if the heart becomes too big on the body level, it can kill you. If it becomes big on the symbolic level, this is just perfect. And if you look around, so if I look around in my lifetime, I know maybe 5, 6 people who impressed me by their big heart in a Christian sense. Yeah? Because loving so much. On the other hand, I treated, I think, hundreds, maybe 1,000 people with heart insufficiency.
Kada pričamo, da se vratimo u onu terminologiju zdravlje i bolesti, danas se na neki način smatra da postoje i zdravi ljudi. Međutim, ako se malo bolje pogleda, zapravo ne postoje, nego su svi bolesni. To zvuči dramatično, ali u vašoj knjizi postoji i tabela jednog čovjeka koji je trebao testirati 200 zdravih ljudi u jednoj tvrtki, da bi se ispostavilo da zapravo nitko nije bio zdrav. Su svi imali ili čireve ili nesanice ili takve, reklo bi se, lagane poremećaje, neugodnosti, boljke, kako bi se to kolokvijalno reklo. No to u principu, ta sve prisutnost raznih vidova zapravo bolesti kod svakog čovjeka, kao što je jedan drugi znanstvenik izmjerio da do 25. godine svaki čovjek preživi jednu smrtonosnu bolest, 20 teških i 200 laganih. Pa to u svakom slučaju nije opis zdravog čovjeka kako mi to zamišljamo. No, ta sjena o kojoj ste pričali, taj neostvareni dio čovjeka kojeg je potisnuo iz svog identiteta i koji želi na površinu, on razvija razne simptome. Danas simptome nazivamo raznim bolestima. Iz perspektive vaše knjige, u stvari, ako jedan simptom i uklonite, pojavit će se drugi. Kao da, recimo, čovjeku maknete kamenje pa će graditi kuću od drveta umjesto kamenja, ali kuća će biti izgrađena. Na koji način i kako treba u tom slučaju promatrati i pristupati simptomima i što je u stvari ono psihološki što čovjeku bolest donosi, kada bismo ovako na prvi pogled možda teže shvatljivo rekli kao dar?
Yeah, that's why we don't talk about diseases. We just say in general, human being is ill if he is living here in this world of polarity, and his one task is to get healthy, to get whole, to integrate all the things, all the principles, to live a fulfilled life like we were taught, for example, by Christ or Buddha. We have to integrate everything. And if we don't do that, this not integrated part goes to the shadow, becomes a symptom. So we talk about symptoms in these books, but not about diseases. But because we say a human being in general is ill and has the task to become whole, to become complete, to have integrated everything. And we can start with every symptom we have. So you can take the small symptoms, the bigger symptoms, and if you look at the statistics, there's really no one who is really completely healthy, because if you look to the blood and to make all the analyses, you always find something which is lacking, which is not really in the real balance, and so you don't find really healthy people. You find people who are more or less healthy and functioning well. So if you look at Sigmund Freud, he said, health is if you can work well and love well. But what is loving well? So, I mean, in the end, everybody has symptoms. And you can cure yourself by taking responsibility for the symptoms and you can look for the symbolism in the symptoms, and by these symbols you could find out what is the task you have to learn. If you look back at this heart disease, the heart insufficiency, you can see, okay, you have a much too big heart on the body level. What you should do now is develop a bigger heart on the mind level, on the consciousness level, and then you will free the body from this task. The body has to express only what we don't want to see, what we don't want to accept in consciousness. And this then becomes a shadow part of us. So we put light into the shadow, and so we can solve this. And of course it's true, then there is more or less coming the next thing to learn, because we look at this world here as a sort of a school, and we have to learn things. And if you have finished class number 1, there's class number 2 coming with different things to learn. For example, if people have enough to do with getting enough food for themselves, they don't have partnership problems. More or less they don't have. I visit a lot of these indigenous people in the Amazonian region, for example, where I made this development service, and those people had no partnership problems because they had enough to do to get their everyday things running. So, but we are free from this. We earn enough that we can live easily, get enough food and things, enough heating in our flats, so we can afford partnership problems. If we solve partnership problems, then maybe there's the next level. For example, I make Zen meditation, Zazen. So we sit there in just this upright position and just count our breathings. So beginning of problems with the body, because it doesn't want to sit for half an hour like this 8 times a day. So you fight with your body, and take some days and the body is sitting. So then emotional problems are coming up, and you fight with these emotional problems. And if you solve them, this is also, maybe you can do this in 10, 12 days, and then mind problems are coming up, all the thoughts. The Zen people say there are monkeys in a tree, and they just climb around the monkey, like the monkeys in the tree, and disturb you, concentration. So it takes you years and a lot of sessions until you get some calmness on this level. So if you solve problems, there are other problems like in school, because we have to learn. And we can use our symptoms also to learn, to integrate more of the meaning the symptoms have by the symbolism, and then we develop.
Temeljna podjela čovjeka i njegove interpretacije svijeta jest na dobro i zlo, koja je naravno uvjetna. Vidjet ćemo da ljudi imaju često puta, jedni ljudi smatraju dobrim nešto što neko drugo smatra zlim, i pričamo o osobnim gledištima, pa bi se reklo da sjena sadrži ono što je čovjek spoznao kao zlo, i to se pokušava ponovo pojaviti van i integrirati, ono kako bi se reklo, ako nećeš milom, onda ćeš silom. I sad u toj perspektivi pojavljuju se različiti simptomi koji na neki način, reklo bi se, podrazumijevaju da mi razumijemo jezik simptoma. Međutim, danas su mnoge, pogotovo, rekao bih, latinske riječi u dijagnozama nekako ljude možda udaljile od onog što ste prije nazvali analogijama u značenju. Na koji način i kako simptomi komuniciraju s nama? Koji je princip da ih mi možemo zapravo razumjeti? S obzirom da danas se bavimo analogijama na raznim područjima, polarnost se istražuje u atomima, u svemiru, u kemiji, u fizici. Međutim, princip je svuda isti, a u ovom gledištu koje vi nudite u stvari se traga za principom. Pa na koji način i kojim jezikom u stvari pričaju simptomi zapravo i nisu toliko nerazumljivi koliko bi se na prvi pogled možda reklo?
I mean, for example, if something is hurting, it wants your attention. If a tooth is hurting, it wants the attention, and you go to the dentist, and the dentist is looking what is wrong with this. So hurting is just an alarm, and this is addressing us and want us something to do to solve this problem of this tooth. So behind this hurt is a category we call principles. There are 12 principles. Or Plato said, behind everything there's an idea. So we are talking now about the level of the ideas. And in all times people had the longing to understand the world and to understand the level behind this. Like Einstein said, the problem level is never the solving level where you can solve this problem. You always have to go to a deeper level. So this is what we know. I think in all times people knew that there are women and men. So the polarity of yin and yang, plus and minus. But this is not enough, these two categories. So they made out of the female category of the female, the yin, they made two elements, the water element and the earth element. And out of the plus and the male principle, they made the fire and the air element. So we had 4 elements, a little bit better to understand the whole thing. But then they had the idea to make still more categories. They thought there is not only fire, but there's the fire of the beginning, this strong fire. And then there's the other fire, the radiance, like of the heart, the charisma. And then they thought there's a 3rd category, it's just the glowing of the fire inside. So you can do this with the water element, with the air element and earth, and then you have 4 elements and always 3 steps inside. So you have 4 multiplied with 3, you have 12 categories. Those are the categories we are working with, the same they used in the antique times of Pythagoras and Platon. And we look at the category behind this. And so there we can see that the symptoms are using these representing these categories, but always in a very destructive way. And we try, as trainers or doctors, to help people to find a more constructive way of expressing this principle. Let's say if you are always having infection in your body, and so we explain them, look, this infection is a fight between your immune system and some bacteria or viruses or things like this. And you're fighting there, you have a war in your body, and if there is fever coming up, then this is the mobilization of all the power of the immune system. So we recommend, instead of fighting or making your body fight, you fight more on the speech level. So you fight out your fights you have with your boss or even with your partner, and don't let this slip to your body. So if you talk about the things and you fight even about these things, there's also an element of aggression behind this. So the idea of this first level or first principle is aggression. And aggression isn't bad in any way. Of course you can rape and kill and things like this, then it's very destructive. but you can also dare to think new, to take new ways. You can make decision. Yeah, you decide what you want to do. You confront your problems. And confrontation is also aggressive, but it's not so destructive way. It's a more soft way. So this is what we tell someone who has a lot of infection problems. Just be more courageous in your life, more daring, and you fight your wars, and you confront your problems and the hot things in your life. So this is how we try to use this level of ideas behind what we see. We see the fever and with the red head then, and the sweating, and we can even measure this, so it's not 37 degrees in this body, but 39 or something. This is what scientific medicine makes, and this is completely okay. But we also ask, what is this meaning that he is fighting in his body? He should fight more on the other level of confrontation, of solving problems with courage.
Zamjetna je uloga jezika u nekakvoj dijagnozi analogija. U knjizi se recimo spominju mnoge riječi iz starih jezika koje su imale odliku da sadrže oba značenja, oba polariteta. Pa navodite, ne znam, grčka riječ farmacija koja znači i lijek i otrov, ili na kraju krajeva latinska riječ koja se održava i u hrvatskom suh ili sok. Jedno je suho, a drugo znači sok, i takvih riječi u stvari ima dosta. Na sličan način se čini da opisi simptoma, jer kao što je rečeno, sjenom se čovjek ne želi baviti zbog toga jer ga je sram, to smatra da nije njegov identitet, to je potisnuo. Međutim, kad dođu simptomi, o njima će vrlo rado pričati sa puno detalja. Kada se priča o simptomima, dolazimo do pitanja jezika. Na koji način ljudi i nehotice kroz jezik izražavaju bit i možda pravi uzrok simptoma koji bi dolazio iz ove, kako smo već rekli, sjene, odnosno neprihvaćenog dijela sebe?
Yeah, I think this is the longing for people to find solutions, and they really tell you what is happening. If you learn to listen to people, you find the solution in their speech. It's difficult for me even to explain it in English because I'm a native German speaker and I have no idea about Croatian language at all. But like in English, you have the word gift. The gift is a present, but in the same word in German means poison. So we often have this double meaning, like altus in Latin means high up and low down. So this is the knowledge of the old languages about polarity. They were not so sure that they are so far away. We today, we think good and bad are far away, but in reality they are much nearer together than we think. And also illness and health are very near together because we always can use illness to become healthy by solving this problem. So they are much nearer together. So if you look at your own life, everybody listening now to us, you find moments when you had an illness, and if you look back today to this illness, you think, oh, it helped me a lot. For example, when I came from northern part of Germany by divorce of my parents to the southern part of Germany, because my mother decided for a man from southern Germany. So I couldn't really understand the language in school, and the other people, boys didn't want to play with me soccer. So I had to find something else to get my place there. And I went to skiing, and I really got a skiing athlete very fast. And when I won these ski races, I was someone. They said, not this guy is from Russia and we don't like him. They said, oh, this guy which is in the paper is in our class. And I could be proud winning these silver things there, these vases. And so I was very fond of skiing. Then my parents said, you know, in our family we study. It was quite good with your skiing, but now it's enough. You don't become a skier. There's nothing for you. But I wanted to become a skier and didn't give up. And then I got the help of fate 3 times, just one after the other. I broke my left leg, then I broke my right leg, and then I broke my right shoulder. And I was really, really frustrated then. And I fell out of this cadre of people who were trained for these ski races, and I was so unhappy. if I look back today, it was the best thing which could happen to me, because I couldn't understand that I wasn't made for a ski athlete. And now I'm quite happy, being 66, to be a doctor and made my career and do the medicine. I did it. And if my skiing career would have gone on, maybe now I would be owner of a skiing school or something. I would really be pissed with this. So I'm quite happy looking back for these 3 accidents. And I have never had an accident before and never one after this. After the 3rd time, they put me in plaster, you know, like this Nazi greeting thing. And I couldn't sleep for 9 weeks, because if I lay on my backside, the blood was running out and it was really itching. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't lay on the side. It was really a horror time. And I tried with my left arm, which was the only one free. Everything else was plaster. I tried to fight the itching. And after 9 weeks, the skiing career was over. I realized, you know, left leg, right shoulder. The next thing would be my neck if I go on like this. So I stopped this. And looking back, I'm quite happy that I could stop it.
No, ljudi kada govore o simptomima zapravo se vrlo precizno izražavaju. U raznim knjigama koje se bave tom materijom nalaze se razni primjeri, kao kad čovjek dođe i kaže pun mi je nos svega, sve je na mojim leđima, guši me. I to su takvi metaforički izrazi koji objašnjavaju njegovu situaciju u životu, a zapravo na neki način, kako što ste rekli, bolest čini čovjeka iskrenim, pa onda na neki drugi način kaže što ga u stvari muči. Na koji način u stvari se iz te perspektive u kojoj zapravo bolest nas želi učiniti cjelovitim i zato ona iz budućnosti u stvari je taj trenutak kada će čovjek biti cjelovit, mora se prethodno svaki razboliti na ovaj ili onaj način. Na koji način u stvari čovjek može, kada jednom je odlučio tako razmišljati, pristupiti tim simptomima? On naravno može za početak se zapitati postoji li neka analogija između bola u njegovom tijelu i nečeg što mu se događa u životu, ili možda neka analogija po pitanju nastanka bolesti i slično. No, kad je jednom to ustanovio, sad se nameće pitanje opet treba li se boriti ovaj put ne protiv simptoma, nego protiv sjene ili nečeg drugog, ili na neki način to prihvatiti, ili možda čak i kao najjednostavniji i najnevjerojatniji odgovor možda tek promatrati i ništa više. Koji bi od tih puteva zapravo bio najprihvatljiviji po vama?
The most important thing, as you said at the end, is just to accept it, to see it's okay like this, and then to accept it and to understand it. And then it could be changed. But the most important thing is just to look at it, understand this is my symptom, it's my resonance to this, the second most important law. I don't get by chance anything, I just get the things I have to learn. And if I can see this, accept this, then there's a chance to change it by finding a better solution. Yeah, you know, like if I look at me breaking my bones 3 times, this was from the principle. If I look back there today, I would say this is an uranic thing. So it would be good to live originally, more original, more also accepting the strange things, going new ways. And in a way I did this in medicine later. Yeah, all these accidents show me that I should get out of this continuity of just thinking skiing and training skiing and winning these silver metal things there. This pokal, I don't know the English word. So if the winner gets these ridiculous things you can't use for anything. But you are fond of it, you're proud of it. So it was a one-way road for me. And I had to get out of this, do something completely new, completely different. And I did this in a way later. And language wants to, or helps us to find out this, yeah, to be, with this principle, to be more original, to go new ways and jump out of the things which are given by the mainstream. So this is one very, this is the 11th principle, the 11th stage of ideas or archetypes. So it's good to understand what is behind the level of the ideas. And from this I can find that an accident belongs to this 11th principle, and a very strange solution also belongs to this. And getting a new way, jumping out suddenly, being spontaneously, it's also in this principle, and it's much more constructive and much more helpful to do it like this and not going on with accidents. And the knowledge of the people knows this, and they say in Germany, one accident is coming seldom alone. So if you don't understand after the first accident, you get a second and a third, like me, until I understood. If I hadn't understood then, I'm sure I would have got a fourth and a fifth until I get out of this, which wasn't my way. So we even call this, or the people's knowledge calls it, the law, I don't know the English word, so the law of the series, or something like this. Yeah? So there is no law of a series, it's just you get the same things as long as you don't understand it. It's like, you know, if you don't learn to swim, you stay a person which can't swim until you learn to swim. Mm-hmm. So if you don't went through puberty, you stay, you are not becoming grown up. Mm-hmm. And even if you are 70, you are not grown up if you haven't gone through puberty. Mm-hmm. You have to learn this to become, and you behave like a grown up. You can rationalize this. Mark Twain did it in a very nice way. He said, oh, when I was 14, I was so ashamed of my father. This guy was so painful, and I was so ashamed of this guy. But then, 7 years later, when I was 21, I was quite astonished how much this old guy had learned in only 7 years.
Vratimo se za kraj opet, eto, spominjali smo simptome. Ti simptome o kojima pričamo su stvari ono što se inače zove bolestima. U ovom slučaju su to simptomi. Spominjali smo već sjene našeg neizraženog dijela. Simptomi naravno nas tjeraju da mijenjamo ponašanje, doživljavamo promjene, dvije vrste. Ne možemo više raditi što smo htjeli i moramo nešto drugo. Također je zajedničko simptomima suprotnih polova da oni mogu imati slična značenja. Recimo zatvor ili proljev mogu recimo slučajno imati istu poruku poziva na otpuštanje i zapravo svaka bolest ili simptom za svakog čovjeka je ipak malo drugačija, njegova neka osobna priča. Simptom se naravno može promijeniti funkcionalno, izliječiti, onda će naravno taj isti problem izabrati neki drugi oblik ostvarenja, pa će možda čovjek umjesto osipa kojeg je potisnuo, ne znam, dobiti astmu ili takve stvari se mogu čuti općenito u ajurvedi i drugim tradicionalnim medicinama koje razmišljaju na sličan način. Za kraj emisije, koja bi bila to nekakva nekoliko pravila, 3 do 4 pravila kojima bi čovjek mogao nekako pristupiti u dubice ili početi prakticirati ovakav način razmišljanja kakav predstavljate u knjizi, kada bismo ih nabrojali?
Yeah, you can first take the second most important law, the law of resonance, and know that you don't get anything by chance. You get only things you have to learn which are a task for you. You can, to get behind this, you can ask yourself, when did it start? When was it the first time? The first coughing attack of my asthma? Or when is it coming now all the time? This is the third most important law, the law of the beginning. And you could also look at what these symptoms are making with you in the body, what picture they are giving, what are they showing you. Yeah, like if you have cancer, this is a growing thing. Yeah, you have a problem with growth. You have growth on the wrong level. Of course, growth is good. So children have to grow up. They have to become taller all the time. We are very fond of this. As parents, we make even signs on the door and measure them. They grow tall. If they grow later, if we are grown up, then some people grow into the broth. They become fat. This is not so good anymore. We should have a round life, but not become round in our body. So we know this. And then we can even have the situation when an organ is growing. That we call tumor. And this is a problem of growth. So not the growing is wrong, but the growing on this level. So we look at the organ where it is happening. then we have the level. Yeah, let's say it's a tumor of the lungs. This is the most important death reason for people having cancer. So the lungs are communication organs. We use our lungs, the breathing, to communicate with each other. We breathe in connection with the green vegetation outside. And so it's a situation of communication and contact, what the lungs represent. And the tumor is growth. So we have a growth problem in the region of communication. If we have the second most important cancer is the second most deathly danger is cancer of the intestine. How we work with the world and how we digest the world. So if we own our possessions or we are owned by our possessions, possessed by them, this area. So if you have a growth there, a tumor in the colon, then we have the level, it's possession. And a growth problem about this, about money things and owning things and all this. So we have the level of the organ shows us where the problem is situated, on which level, and we look at the problem, we see this is a problem like of growth. With the infection we had a problem of aggression.
Što kada jednom čovjek sagleda svoj simptom i na neki način simbolički analogijom prihvati njegovu poruku? Što onda?
When you accepted the thing, then you find out where you could live this growth on a more constructive way. So you learn to communicate, to defend yourself, to be... You could also put this on the level of possession, how you grow with your possessions, how you use them for growth of your soul, of your mind. Yeah, you can find a more constructive way of expressing the idea behind the illness on the level which is shown where you have the growth, the lung or in the intestine. And you can have it almost everywhere, this cancer thing. So you have a growth problem with cancer, and you have it on the different level in the body where this cancer is. If it's in the bone system, it's the 10th archetype, so it's about structure and coming to the really important things, to the essence. This is the level number 10. And you can have it on almost every other level of the body, for example. And if you have understood it, and if you have accepted it completely, then you go to the next level to change it. Mm-hmm. This is what Antonovsky called the salutogenesis. Yeah, with the university medicine, we are on the pathogenesis level. This we know quite well, how the disease developed. But we talk now about salutogenese, how to become whole, how to become healthy. And then you have to look what is the illness wants to express, and how could we express it on a more constructive level. Mm-hmm. So we solve this thing on a better way. Mm-hmm.
Gospodine Dahlke, hvala vam na ovom razgovoru i do nekog sljedećeg susreta ili razgovora. Doviđenja.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Hvala i vama na pažnji. Evo i za kraj nekoliko zaključaka perspektive koje smo predstavljali, koja kreće od samog pitanja što je to svijest i činjenice da je ona polarna jer može spoznavati, ali nas samim time čini nesavršenima, nezdravima i zato je bolest unutar polariteta, reklo bi se, uvijek neizbježna jer se čovjek uvijek identificira s polovicom principa, a to se očituje u simptomima koji onda predstavljaju onaj zatajeni dio svjesnosti, potisnutu polovicu principa. Princip koji se ne proživljava naći će zaobilazni put kroz tjelesni simptom, a simptomi, čuli smo, čine čovjeka iskrenim jer zapravo sadrže ono što čovjeku nedostaje u svijesti. I onda bi ozdravljenje bilo rezultat osvještavanja i integriranja tog sjenovitog dijela koji simptom predočava analogijom. I kad čovjek nađe što mu nedostaje, simptom postaje nepotreban. Iz te perspektive bolest bi se mogla opisati kao nužni put prema cjelovitosti. A iz perspektive ovog večernjeg sata još samo laku noć.